Welcome to the Emotions of Life channel. Like the video, subscribe and enjoy the story. The night was cold and dark when Lucas, exhausted after hours of flying, entered the airport baggage claim area. He had only one thing on his mind: to get out of there quickly, go home and finally rest. As an automatic reflex, he grabbed the first suitcase he saw sliding down the carousel, ignoring the tag hanging beside the handle. It wasn't his. It was a larger suitcase, brightly colored, something he would have noticed at any other time. But not that night. As he walked to his car, the suitcase felt strange, heavier than he had expected. He hurried along, already weary from the discomfort of the trip, until something caught his attention. A letter, a crumpled piece of paper that had slipped out of the suitcase when he placed it in the back seat. Curious, he opened it and a single phrase jumped out at him, something he couldn't ignore. "Find me before it's too late." What should have been just another forgotten suitcase in the routine of the airport now seemed to carry a mystery. The sense of urgency, the hurried handwriting. Lucas looked around as if he were being watched. The letter didn't just speak of a meeting, it carried a promise. A promise he couldn't ignore, even without understanding what was at stake. Why would someone hide a letter like this? Who needed to be found? And most intriguingly, what did he, a simple man without great ambitions, have to do with any of this? He knew something was about to change, but he had no idea how that small mistake, grabbing the wrong suitcase, would throw him into a story far bigger than he could have ever imagined. And so, unknowingly, Lucas found himself in the middle of a game of shadows, where truth blended with lies and fate, inevitable, was about to place him face to face with something that would change his life forever. The next day, still restless from the mystery of the letter, Lucas decided to take a deeper look into the suitcase. He couldn't resist the temptation to find out what else might be hidden inside. When he opened it, he found not only clothes and personal belongings but also an old photograph of an unknown woman. She was smiling, her gaze calm and serene, something that starkly contrasted with the growing tension now consuming Lucas. With his heart pounding, he decided to investigate. The photo had an address written on the back, and without thinking twice, Lucas drove there, driven by curiosity and the need to understand what lay behind this strange encounter. When he arrived at the address, a small house at the end of a quiet street, he hesitated for a moment. The simple facade didn't seem to match the weight of everything he was feeling. When he knocked on the door, a woman answered. She had the same look as in the photo. Her eyes were slightly red, as if she had been crying, but there was something in her gaze that seemed much stronger than sadness, a silent determination. "You're the man who found my suitcase," she said, her voice firm yet laden with repressed emotion. "You have something that isn't yours." Lucas swallowed hard. He hadn't expected her to be so direct. But as he looked at her, something inside him wanted to believe that this encounter had a purpose. She was standing there, right in front of him, and he knew there was no turning back. With a mix of distrust and fascination, he handed her the suitcase and somehow he found himself sitting in her kitchen, sipping bitter coffee while she explained what was happening. Her name was Mariana, and the story she began to tell left Lucas even more perplexed. Mariana was a woman running from a dark past, from a dangerous man who had been chasing her everywhere. But there was something more. She possessed valuable information about a corruption network that he would never have imagined being connected to someone like her. "I never wanted it to be you, but it seems fate chose you," she said, looking directly into Lucas's eyes. As her words echoed in his mind, Lucas wondered, how could he, an ordinary man, suddenly be caught in the middle of such a vast, dangerous scheme? And why would such a simple mistake, grabbing the wrong suitcase, lead him to a woman with a secret capable of turning his life upside down? Fate apparently had other plans for him. And for the first time, Lucas began to believe that something much bigger was at play. Mariana, after revealing her turbulent past, told Lucas that the letter he found in the suitcase was not just any note. It was part of a bigger plan, something she had been trying to hide for months, and now, inexplicably, he was involved. But before she could explain further, she started to withdraw, as if trying to protect Lucas from something even darker. "I never wanted to involve you in this," she said, her eyes filled with silent pain. "But now there's no turning back." She explained that the letter had been left as a final warning by someone trying to destroy her life. The content of the message, seemingly simple, contained a code. As she attempted to decipher it, something in her expression changed. Her face turned pale, her eyes widened in alarm, as if she had just discovered something she had long feared. "This code, it leads me to a place," she murmured, looking at Lucas with a newfound desperation. "I thought it was just a threat, but it's not. It's more than that. It reveals something I never imagined." She clutched the paper with trembling hands and pointed to the words he hadn't noticed before. "Find the book and the secret will be revealed." Lucas now found himself responsible for understanding not only the meaning of the code but also how it connected to Mariana's life. "You need to help me find this," she pleads. "This book, it's the key to everything. If I don't find it, my past will catch up with me." As Lucas tries to grasp what is happening, something inside him begins to change. He feels an even deeper connection to Mariana, as if, somehow, their lives were inexplicably intertwined. But he also feels fear. Something big and dangerous is about to be revealed. He doesn't know it yet, but the letter is just the tip of the iceberg. The secret Mariana carries is more terrifying than anyone could imagine. And as they begin their search for the book, fate starts leading them down a path that will change their lives forever. At that moment, Lucas asks himself, how did he, an ordinary man, end up entangled in something so complex, so dangerous? And what did he really know about Mariana? The woman who, seemingly, was going to change his life, but who now felt like a greater enigma than he could ever solve on his own. The search for the book becomes an obsession. Mariana and Lucas spend sleepless nights digging through old records, speaking with dubious sources, and at times, avoiding the eyes that seemed to follow them with every step. With every clue they uncovered, a new mystery arose. The book was more than just an object. It was the key to a story buried in the shadows of Mariana's past. One day, after yet another investigation, Mariana reveals something Lucas never expected to hear. She is not just a woman running from a dangerous man. In reality, she is tied to an influential family with connections in high places, places of power and corruption, something she had always tried to escape. The book she is searching for contains secrets that could destroy this family, and, by extension, Mariana herself. "I was born into this world, Lucas," she says, her gaze dark. "I always tried to escape it, but it seems it never let me go. The book I'm looking for is proof of everything my family has done to keep control over everything, including you." Lucas is confused. He knew Mariana was running from something big, but he never imagined his own life could be tied to something so intricate. The idea that he, too, might be a part of this game terrifies him. After all, what did she mean by "including you"? Mariana, visibly tense, doesn't give many details but begins to explain more about the book. It belonged to an ancestor of her family, a man who, for many years, was the right hand of a powerful corrupt magnate. This book contains details of a scheme of power and manipulation spanning generations. "My father, he was the last one to have the book," Mariana reveals, her voice trembling. "He disappeared when I was still a child. And the book, it was hidden. Hidden from me and from everyone who could use it against our family." But the most frightening part is that, as she tells this story, Mariana also reveals that her father had tried to destroy the book. He knew the evil it represented, but for some reason the book was never completely erased. Now all she wants is to find the last missing piece, a clue she believes is with an enemy much closer than she ever imagined. "There's something you don't know about me, Lucas," she says, her voice low and serious. "And when you find out, you might want to run. But it's already too late." The mystery deepens. With every step they take in search of the book, the shadows of Mariana's past, and Lucas's own entanglement in this story, begin to reveal themselves. But what she hasn't told him yet is that the darkest secret is about to come to light, something even she didn't know. And Lucas, now completely involved, realizes that he is not just helping a woman he barely knows but stepping into a game of power and secrets that could change everything he thought he knew about himself. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. The search for the book takes them deeper into the spiral of mystery, and as the days pass, Lucas begins to question where his life truly fits into this story. What started as a simple mistake, taking the wrong suitcase, was now consuming him, and he found himself increasingly connected to Mariana. She had become more than just a mysterious woman on the run. It was as if she were the center of an enigma that, somehow, he couldn't avoid unraveling. And, unsettlingly, he also felt something more for her, something he wasn't prepared to face. The nights they spent together, deciphering clues and investigating, created a closeness between them. Their conversations grew deeper, more personal. Lucas shared his frustrations and doubts about life, and Mariana, with a sorrowful look, slowly but meaningfully began to open her heart. Every piece of her story felt like a layer she was finally allowing to be touched, as if, for some reason, she was starting to trust him more than she had ever trusted anyone before. "I never wanted this life, Lucas," she says one night, flipping through an old family journal. "I just wanted a simple life, far away from this darkness. But it found me again, and now you're involved too." Lucas, who had initially sought only answers, no longer just wanted to solve the mystery. He wanted to help Mariana, to free her from the prison her family and past had imposed on her. He wanted her to feel safe, protected, by him. He didn't know how it happened, but his feelings for her had changed. What once seemed like mere compassion for a woman in danger had transformed into something more complex, more visceral. Something he could no longer control. But this growing connection between them also brought complications. Lucas began to wonder if Mariana was truly telling him everything. There were moments when she seemed to be hiding more than she let on, as if there were deeper secrets buried, truths left unsaid. He couldn't ignore the fact that the woman he was getting close to had such a turbulent past, filled with manipulation and lies, that it was impossible to know how much he could truly trust her. "I owe you a lot, Lucas," she says, breaking the silence. "And maybe I also owe you the truth about what's really at stake." She seemed sincere, but Lucas couldn't shake the feeling that the worst was yet to come. They were close to the book, very close. And suddenly, Lucas realized that they weren't just searching for a book. They were searching for a crucial piece of a puzzle that, once put together, would reveal a truth darker than he had ever imagined. He wanted to believe that she was being honest, but he was beginning to question whether the game they were playing was more dangerous than he had thought. They were delving deeper and deeper into the heart of a mystery that could destroy them both. However, as their involvement grew deeper, Lucas also realized something that scared him. Perhaps he was falling in love with Mariana. And the hardest part to admit was that she seemed to feel the same way. They were now so immersed in this game of trust and betrayal that they no longer knew what was real and what was just a facade to hide the darkest secrets. As Lucas and Mariana continued their relentless search for the book, one day while searching through a private library belonging to an old family friend of Mariana's, they found something unexpected. It wasn't the book, but something even more disturbing. A sealed envelope with Mariana's name handwritten on it, in an old and familiar script. The contents, which she opened with trembling hands, revealed a truth no one could have anticipated. Inside the envelope was a letter. But not just any letter. It was a message from her own father, written before his disappearance. The letter read, "My daughter, if you are reading this, it means the worst has happened. You and I both know what was done and what was lost, but now the truth must come to light. The book you seek is not just about our history, it holds the key to an even deeper truth. It is the link between you and someone who is much closer to you than you ever imagined." Mariana, with tear-filled eyes, almost dropped the paper, her body tensed with shock. She looked at Lucas, who stood frozen, waiting for more explanations but at the same time aware that this was not something simple. Something inside Lucas told him that the revelation Mariana had just discovered was the final piece of the puzzle and that their lives were now more intertwined than they had ever imagined. This can't be true," Mariana whispered, the words escaping like a tense sigh. "He was preparing me for this, but I never imagined." Lucas watched in silence. Something in Mariana's tone and the way she spoke made him think that she knew much more than she was letting on. He stepped closer, placing a hand on her shoulder, trying to offer some kind of comfort, but his own heart was racing. He was beginning to understand that the truth about the book and Mariana's mystery not only involved her family and her past but something far more dangerous. An unexpected connection between the two of them. "Who is this person, Mariana?" Lucas asked, unable to hide his anxiety. "Who else is involved in this?" She took a deep breath, seeming to try to organize her thoughts, but it was as if the words wouldn't come out. The truth was about to be revealed, and everything she had feared was materializing before her eyes. After an agonizing pause, she finally said, "Lucas, I don't know how you're going to react, but the truth is that the man you thought was my enemy, my father, he left me more than just a book. He left me an inheritance, and you are more connected to it than you realize." Lucas, in shock, didn't know how to respond. The idea that he, an ordinary man, could somehow be involved in this tangled web of corruption and family secrets deeply unsettled him. But what Mariana had just said was impossible to ignore. Are you saying that I'm part of this? Part of your family's story?" he asked, his voice trembling as he struggled to understand. Mariana just slowly shakes her head, as if struggling to accept the magnitude of what she is about to reveal. The silence between them is heavy, and Lucas feels as if a curtain is slowly lifting, revealing a scene he never imagined. The truth was finally in sight, but it was more devastating than anyone could have imagined. The man he had always been, the life he thought was his, was about to be torn away from his control in an irreversible way. Mariana's revelation makes Lucas's world crumble. He tries to process the words that just came out of her mouth, but everything feels confusing, unreal. He is not just a spectator in the game she and her family have been playing. He is part of it, a crucial piece, and somehow he always has been. With every passing minute, he feels as if he is sinking deeper and deeper into a labyrinth from which he cannot escape. Mariana, still visibly shaken by the letter, begins to step away. The look in her eyes is distant, as if she is struggling with something far greater than herself. Lucas realizes that, in that moment, she is also losing herself, but perhaps in a different way. She is dealing with the weight of the truth, with the weight of everything that has been hidden. "I need you to understand, Lucas," she says, breaking the silence. "Everything my father did, he did for a reason. He believed that the secret of the book could save us, and maybe now I'm starting to believe he was right. But you are the key to everything." Lucas is stunned. With every word Mariana speaks, he feels more and more like he is in a dream, a distorted reality. What she says makes sense, but at the same time it seems impossible. He never asked to be part of this, never wanted to be a piece in this game of power and manipulation. But now there is no turning back. The game has become personal, and the truth about his own connection to Mariana makes him question. Who is he really? "I don't know if I can go through with this," Lucas confesses, his voice filled with anguish. "I don't know if I can trust myself anymore." Mariana, sensing Lucas's internal conflict, steps closer to him with an expression of understanding. "I know it's hard, but we're so close to understanding everything. We don't have a choice, Lucas. I need you. We need to find the book before it's too late. Something much bigger than us is at stake." The pressure builds, but Lucas feels that he cannot abandon her now. Somehow he is too deeply involved to walk away. Fear and hesitation still grip him, but his connection with Mariana, the truth that now stands before them, creates a force he cannot ignore. He feels a growing responsibility, not just for her but for the truth that is about to be revealed. And at that moment, when the tension reaches its peak, something changes. A new step in their investigation reveals a crucial clue. The book is not where they thought it was. It is in a completely unexpected place, held by someone they never imagined to be involved in this mystery. Mariana and Lucas discover that the book is in the possession of an old ally of her father, someone who was also being manipulated by far greater forces. But this figure, with whom she has a personal and painful connection, now emerges as the final obstacle between them and the ultimate truth. "If we don't do this now," Mariana says with a serious and resolute tone, "we won't get another chance. The book will disappear forever, and the secret it holds will be lost, maybe forever." Lucas feels a mix of nervousness and determination. They are about to face the greatest challenge of their lives, and now he knows there is no turning back. They must find the book, or the price they will pay will be far greater than either of them can imagine. The story now reaches its climax. Their fate rests in one final action, one last attempt to confront what binds them together and what the future holds. They are about to discover what the book truly contains, and how it will change their lives forever. The search for the book culminates on a tense night when Mariana and Lucas finally arrive at the place where her family's secret and Lucas's unexpected connections intertwine. The hiding place is not what they imagined. It is not a secret mansion or a hidden library. It is something much simpler and, at the same time, more unsettling. A small cabin, isolated from everything, perched atop a hill in the middle of a dense and silent forest. Inside the cabin, a familiar figure awaits them. It is the man Mariana never thought she would see again. Her father, or at least what remains of him. He is aged, but the look in his eyes is the same. And somehow he had always known that this moment would come. "You came," he says in a low, weary voice, but one still carrying undeniable authority. "I knew you would make it here. I knew Lucas would be the key." Mariana freezes. Her father, the man she believed lost forever, is standing before her. Not only had he survived, but now he reveals himself as a fundamental part of the entire plot. "I know what's happening here, Father," Mariana says, her voice filled with a mixture of anger and relief. "But why hide this from us? Why keep the truth from me?" He smiles slightly, a tired smile. "I did what needed to be done to protect you, Mariana. And Lucas too." Lucas, still lost in thought, now fully understands what has been said. He never imagined he had been anything more than a mere spectator in this game. He asks the only question that matters, his voice steady despite his confusion. "What is the secret of the book? What's at stake? And what is my role in all of this?" Mariana's father looks at them both with a somber expression. He takes a deep breath before speaking. "The book contains more than just secrets about our family. It holds true power. The power to decide the fate of all of us. It carries a pact made generations ago between my family and other powerful bloodlines, including yours, Lucas. And you, my friend, are destined to make a choice that will change the course of the world. Mariana and Lucas are in shock. They never imagined they would be entangled in a pact that transcends their lives, stretching across generations, now on the brink of being broken, or sealed, by their decision. For so long I fought to protect you, Mariana, her father continues. But now you must decide. The power of the book can heal or destroy, it can liberate or condemn. And whoever holds it will control the future. Mariana, feeling the weight of her father's words, steps closer to Lucas. Their eyes meet, and for the first time, they both know what must be done. They cannot allow the book's power to fall into the wrong hands, nor can they let it be used to manipulate the fate of so many lives. The love that began as a mistake, a simple mix-up of luggage, has now become something stronger than any secret or pact. They cannot let this power destroy what they have built. Mariana grips Lucas's hand firmly. We destroy the book. We cannot let it control any more lives. With one last resolute exchange of glances, they take the book and, with a decisive gesture, burn it. The pages are consumed by the flames, releasing an intense energy that seems to illuminate them for a brief moment. Mariana's father, watching the scene, simply nods as if he knew that their fate is now sealed. The fire of the book dies out, but the weight it represented disappears along with it. Lucas and Mariana's lives will no longer be ruled by the secrets of the past but by the power of their own choices. With the book's destruction, the pact is broken, and the power that threatened to control their lives finally dissipates. Mariana's father, now freed from the book's influence, disappears into the night, knowing that his daughter and Lucas finally have control over their own destinies. The dawn brings a sense of renewal. The forest, once a maze of mysteries and deceptions, now reveals itself as a clear path to a free future. As Lucas and Mariana walk away from the cabin, they feel the weight of the truth but also a sense of relief. They are no longer bound by the shadows that haunted them. Let's live our own story, Lucas, Mariana says with a peaceful smile, finally free from her family's ghosts and the secret that had imprisoned her for so long. Lucas, looking into her eyes, knows that despite everything that happened, he has found something more precious than any power or secret. He has found love, the real kind, not the manipulative one the book promised. They are now free to write their own story, far from the shadows of the past. And so, with a new beginning, they move forward. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more exciting stories. See you next time.